All right, what's going on, guys? G-Dog Casey here with Detner, getting ready to cast Week 2 of the CTL. This is going to be representing Team LiT, or Lost in Translation, eSports versus the new Confederation. They're labeled as the Confederation, but they are the new Confed because the last Confed disbanded, and actually a lot of their players are on LiT now, but they actually came back with a bunch of new leadership and things like that. So we're going to be going up against them in week number 2.
Yeah, so as of this week, everybody got a free win because of CTL or CT6, sorry, backing out. So the records as it stands is 2-0 for LiT and 1-1 for Confed.
Yeah. So we're going to be jumping into this first game relatively quickly here on Dusk Towers.
Dusk Towers PvP.
Yeah, we got the gold matchup leading things off. I think that's like the normal format here. I think every week we're going to be leading off with the gold, following it up by plat, and then diamond, and then gold, plat, and then set number 6 is always like a wild card. All right, here we are, game number 1 on Dusk Towers. Looking in the top right corner of the map, we are going to be introducing the purple Protoss representing Team Confed. He is angldust.
And spawning in the bottom portion as the blue Protoss for Team LiT, we have Kohonski. A PvP map on Dusk Towers. What are your thoughts?
Well, this matchup is something that I'm really not a expert in, but Dusk Towers is a good map. I like it. I feel like it's funny because if I can take a second to talk about Dusk Towers here, a lot of people say that it's a very standard map, but one thing that I actually read from Blizzard is they always said that they actually never thought this map was standard. And I think there's kind of like a mix-up of what means to different people. Like, it's not standard to have an in-base right in your main, you know what I mean? So it's more of like a long macro game. So we could see something like that in this matchup here.
Yeah, and where standard being, like I would say standard in StarCraft would be taking expansions is difficult, whereas in a map like this where it's not as difficult to take it, you're right, it would be less standard to have an in-base. But it does promote macro play, it does promote that safe second or possibly even third base if you take the forward base as your natural.
Yeah, I mean, even the third base is pretty easy to defend relative to some of the other maps. Like, we have just one large ramp leading into it, so not too bad. Now, in terms of this game, we have double gas going down for both players, and no one taking an early expansion just yet. Second gateway down for Kohonski, so he might be looking to put on some pressure with maybe some stalkers or some adepts as soon as that Cybercore finishes up.
Yeah, the only difference between the two builds so far would be that second gateway. As we see, there was a pylon block potentially for Kohonski on angldust, but he canceled it. So noticing that there is still no second base, you're right, I would assume that there would be some early aggression. Both probes making their way around each opponent's base, scouting and seeing absolutely everything.
Yeah, and this is something in PvP that I noticed quite a bit, is it's kind of hard to get rid of that early probe. Really actually smart move here from angldust, hiding the probe in the third base. Completely missed by Kohonski as he sends his probe back to work. So that probe can come back in again later if he wants to.
Yeah, we have two adepts making their way out of the gateways for Kohonski right now. Going to look to put on some early aggression as we see a second gateway come down for angldust.
That probe is under fire now. The adepts are trying to get some damage done, but I have a feeling those shades are going to finish. Yeah, the adepts actually shade away and let that probe survive here in the second base of Kohonski. So I wonder if that's going to turn into something later on in this game.
Yeah, this with the probe surviving, he's going to be able to get another scout done while these adepts are making their way across the map and pass yet another probe on their left. But the defense is already set up. Look, we have a stalker and a zealot here to greet these adepts. The adepts are going to shade in and see what kind of information that they can get.
They do see the second base here, and then go on and complete the shade into the main. Going to try to get some probes done, or some probes killed. One going down. Second one looks like it's going to go down as well. Photon Overcharge is going to shoo these guys away, though, and hopefully they'll be able to shade out. One of them actually goes down, so one adept survives.
Well, one adept for the scouting information of the natural, especially in a PvP, and a couple drones, I would say worth. It does suck to lose them with even though you have that shade ability available, but he got the information that he needed and dropped his own second base.
Yeah, he's going to follow along what angldust is doing here. He does have his own robotics facility. He's actually making a warp prism at the moment, whereas on the other side, we do see, immortals being pumped out from angldust.
Yeah, so the versatility of Kohonski will be a little bit more than angldust with that warp prism, but the sheer power is going to be in favor of Kohonski, especially in a PvP where immortal counts tend to be pretty important.
Yeah, especially if stalkers are like the main part of your army. This probe has been running for so long. This is the same probe, by the way, that was sitting in the base. As soon as I clicked away, it finally died. And it's going to be replaced by this observer here from angldust. It's going to be getting a look at everything. It even saw the warp prism on its way in, and it sees the Twilight Council and everything that Kohonski's doing. So he knows what to expect here.
Yeah, and just as you say that, you can see he just sends everything out to set up defensive posture. He's got a zealot and his mothership core heading to the natural, and he's got his 2 sentry, stalker, and immortal in his main to defend as this warp prism's making its way across the map with 3 adepts in it. So I think it's going to be deflected pretty easily.
Yeah, he's definitely expecting it here as the warp prism saw, the observer saw what was coming. Adepts are being dropped off. They're going to focus down the sentries here first. It looks like 2 sentries go down, which is nothing to shake a stick at here, as some more probes are going down as well. If we take a look, 6 workers killed so far, 7 now. Maybe 1 more is going to go down. 8 go down before the warp prism has to get on up out of there. And Kohonski has actually secured himself a pretty nice worker lead here. He's almost, he's 9 workers ahead. And his income is showing that as well. He's going to be able to be earning some extra income here. But that being said, what does he have going on at home here? There's not really a lot of units here, as it looks like angldust has a much bigger army, a much stronger army with 3 immortals, some sentries, and some stalkers all to go along with it. It's a pretty diverse army, and it's going to be hard for Kohonski to defend.
Yeah, angldust is making his way across the map. He is chrono boosting out a warp prism for reinforcement, so it looks like the counterattack is real. And I'm looking back at home, and there's nothing here. We have a mothership core, and we have 1 immortal and a stalker, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Oh, 1 stalker almost goes down. Here we go, Guardian Shield. Force Field goes down right beside the immortal. That immortal gets shreked. And there's 3 stalkers up here to defend. I think there's a mothership core coming in to position. Looks like they're going to try to get off the photon overcharge, but 3 immortals will take that pylon down very quickly as angldust's own warp prism reinforces here.
Yeah, and just looking at the unit composition right now, those 3 immortals are going to town. Kohonski warps in some zealots, but they're just going to get shredded, and every single pylon that's going to be photon overcharged is going to be focused down by 3 immortals. So that means in like 1.5 hits, they're gone.
Yeah, even the mothership core is going down as well. Some of these gateways are getting unpowered. Probes being pulled off the line. That's never a good sign. Immortals are doing work against those as well. And it looks like this is about all she wrote here, as Kohonski's quickly running out of units to defend.
Yeah, the last-ditch effort. The warp prism is coming in and dropping off those aggressive adepts, but they're going to get shredded very quickly, and I think it's pretty much all over, I would say.
Yeah, as soon as the adepts are gone, we're just watching the demise here of Kohonski. Even an immortal being pulled into the natural, just doing work on the left side as well. So GG, well played. Nice manner from Kohonski, and that's a pretty solid game coming out of angldust. He's going to go ahead and give Team Confederation the first win of the set. It's going to be 1-0 for them. So with that being said, we're going to meet you guys over on set number 2, which is going to be on Invader. We'll see you there. Alright, here we are on set number 2 on the map Invader. Let's go ahead and introduce our blue Protoss player in the bottom left corner. Representing Team LiT Esports, he is Colttarren.
And his opponent spawning on the bottom right-hand portion as the purple Terran for Team Confed, it is Lotus. I like that name, Lotus.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad name.
Colttarren.
Yeah. Well, him on the other end, he is someone who most of you guys probably know. He is a CTL admin, and also I think he's one of the admins on the team as well in terms of like, I'm pretty sure he's the guy who's setting up all our clan wars and things like that. He does a lot of casting for the team too when we're streaming clan wars live and things like that. So definitely a more well-known player. Whereas Lotus, on the other hand, is not someone that I've heard of. But Confed is a new team, and as far as I know, he's just one of the new players on the new team. But he's definitely, going to be opening up with an interesting opening here, getting a second gas right off the bat here, right after the barracks.
Yeah, PVT on this map with these spawns. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not really sure. In terms of PVT, one thing I see a lot from the Protoss side of things is, Blink Stalker, Disruptor play, maybe some early Adept aggression, things like that. The probe here is coming in, going to try to harass that SCV building the barracks, but not going to be able to get too much done here. Is scouting the second gas, though, which is helpful for him, and he's going to go on and get out of there.
Yeah, that's a key scout. It's really important information because double gas this early, in my mind, would signal obviously early aggression, but something like a Banshee or something else that I don't know about. But we have a second base coming down for Colttarren, so he knows that he's going to be the defender in this situation.
Yeah, he's got the probe right outside here. He knows he's not going to be needing to, be too aggressive here. He can just defend his second base. He is getting a second gateway to follow up his cyber core, getting a second gas as well.
Yeah, the Reaper on its way out, making a scout, trying to see where Colttarren is because the Terran player does not know yet. This probe, though, luckily survived and just hanging out in the natural, making sure that nothing's coming down as a factory and a reactor come down for Lotus.
Yeah, also getting a quick engineering bay, too. I wonder what the early second gas is for here. I mean, he could be going for a quick starport after this and maybe going, like you said, into some Banshees or some Liberators or something like that. But as it stands right now, he's banking up quite a bit of extra gas.
Yeah, and back at home, we have a third and fourth gateway being dropped as this Reaper comes in and sees everything. The Mothership Core hammers at it a little bit, gets the scouting done, sees that there is a natural already completed as the Mothership Core comes out to shoo it away.
Doing a building swap on the other side is Lotus getting his factory on the reactor, probably for... he's actually going for a double Widow Mine here. I guess I'm like trained to think Hellions might see that. Oh no!
Oh no!
No! The command center lifts up. A bunch of SCVs stop working here. Most of them get back to work, but there's still a few standing around here that are not getting back to work. That's a huge hiccup there.
Oh no! From my count right now, I see 5 SCVs not working right now.
Yeah, that's a bit of a pain there from Lotus. We do have a Stargate now coming down from Colttarren here after his 4 gateway opening.
Yeah, and preemptive missile turret already going down, knowing that it is close spawns just to deter any sort of airplay. But with those Widow Mines coming out, looks like the medevac is rallied on top of them. They're going to make a Widow Mine drop. Is there any detection for the Protoss just yet? The Robo is just being dropped now.
Yeah, nothing just yet. If he goes for the Oracle, he might have some detection here eventually. 3 Widow Mines and SCV got picked up in the medevac as well, so they're all going around, getting ready to be dropped off in Colttarren's main here. Some Stalkers warping in. Stargate hasn't been put to use yet. Robo, as you said, and an extra gateway as well.
Here comes the attack with these Widow Mines. I think the SCV is going to be the key part of this attack. Going to be doing the most damage.
Yeah, he's gonna... well, nice reaction time actually from Colttarren. Gets the probes out of the way. Photon Overcharge gonna take out that medevac.
Oh!
Big hit there from one of the Widow Mines.
And chrono boosting out a observer now. So these Widow Mines are not going to live for much longer. Although he has stopped the mining. All these probes are not mining right now. Luckily, he has a natural where he does have some still mining at the moment.
Yeah, he actually decides to move all the probes over to the natural. Finally going to be able to take out these Widow Mines before they get a second shot off. In terms of workers killed, only 1 probe was killed. There's still some workers not working for Colttarren now. So both players struggle a little bit with worker management as we see some idle workers from time to time. Look at the second factory with a tech lab on it down for Lotus now. Is he going for... what's he going for? This isn't mech, is it?
I wouldn't recommend it, but with 2 factories, it'd be pretty obvious that it would probably be mech, but we have double Widow Mine production coming out on a siege tank. So this is something irregular that I haven't seen before, and a Liberator being produced. So who needs bio when you have mech?
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll see how this works out for Lotus here. And like you said, I don't really recommend this style of play, but it could really throw Colttarren for a loop here if he's not quite sure how to deal with it. That being said, he is moving across the map with 5 Adepts and 4 Stalkers. And, you know, this siege tank... See, what I was mentioning in another time here, where this siege tank, if it was tucked in behind this little sort of lip, or whatever you want to call this, it could be a much more defensible position for the siege tank. As it stands now, it's out in the open and, you know, might be susceptible to fire, but we'll see. There's tons of Widow Mines here.
Yeah, that's what I'm most worried about for Colttarren right now, because he's going to move in there. He's going to see the Liberator. He's going to see 3 Widow Mines. Oh my goodness. He's going to see 3 Widow Mines.
2 tanks sieged up as well.
And the Overseer, or sorry, not the Overseer, the, look at these Widow Mine hits. Watch, friendly fire.
Oh, that actually was not too bad, but the follow-up from the Stalkers was not the best idea. One Adept has well, no, he hasn't survived. He did for a little longer. This is so many Widow Mines here, and the Liberator's in a good position. Now, Lotus is, like, turtled up here. I don't think there's any way that Colttarren can come in through at least this choke.
Yeah, I've never seen this style played against Protoss, but it looks like just by looking at the supplies, it's 86 to 55 in favor of our Terran player. The Protoss player did lose a lot right there as a 3rd CC comes down for our Terran player. Widow Mines are ridiculously strong, and we need to see some sort of play from our Protoss player to counter that. Where is the Overseer at the moment? I'm trying to see that.
The Observer just got
Observer,
shot
sorry.
just flew over the missile turrets of Lotus, and it got shot down. So we got Siege Tank Widow Mine here coming out of Lotus, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out, because I don't really know off the top of my head. I know Widow Mines are strong versus the shields of Protoss, I believe, and they're just good generally. Another
more
batch.
observers. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say another batch of Stalkers with an Immortal here moving out for Colttarren, trying to be active on the map.
Where did those Widow Mines go? Looks like they're spreading out a little bit, but they're going to get picked off right here.
One of them does at least, yeah. The second one is going to get picked off as well. And there's basically just, like, littered across the map here, Widow Mines all over the place.
We still have a bunch of SCVs, unfortunately, for Lotus not working at the moment. I'm just looking at the count, and I see at least 3 not working right now, which is nice when you have a worker lead, like he does at the moment, 56 to 40, but when a bunch of them aren't working, you're kind of losing your advantage.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Just scattered throughout here. Usually, it looks like they haven't been sent back to work after building. Some of them are getting to work now, building some supply depots. Alright, so for Colttarren, we have double Immortals coming out now. We have Phoenix coming out, Twilight Council going down, and I think he's going to just, like, I would recommend looking out to go take a 3rd base, and I see the probe now, as I said that, going out to take the 3rd base here, to make sure he doesn't fall too far behind economically, because if he's identified that he's up against a mech style of play, then the mech Terran player doesn't usually want to move out until he's fully maxed out on mech units, and that takes a little while, so it gives the Protoss player time to macro for a bit before he has to worry about being attacked.
Well, the big difference I'd like to add to this build by Lotus, which I've never seen before, is the addition of a Ghost Academy. So Ghost Academies are really good against Protoss to get rid of those shields, to get rid of any energy on any Protoss units. So this is an odd unit composition, but so far he's taking quite a commanding lead.
Yeah, he's very far ahead in supply. He's got a lot more workers than Colttarren does. He's got his 3rd orbital ready to go now. Phoenix is over here scouting the 3rd base, trying to poke down this Liberator. Actually doing a pretty good job, but now that the missile turret is done, Colttarren's got to be a bit more careful.
And a huge SCV transfer, so if we're looking at the income, just the income alone is almost doubled. Well, for the moment there, it was almost doubled. I guess Mules had just finished dying, but the advantage is real.
Yeah, Lotus putting himself in a pretty good spot. It's already going to come down to how well these mech units can engage against the Protoss. Like 3 Immortals here is pretty good. There's a nice amount of Zealots and Stalkers as well. No upgrades for either player here. Blink coming through for Colttarren, but other than that, no upgrades at all. Not even Stim, no combat shields, nothing like that. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, as we see a little engagement going on here, the Widow Mine being picked up before it could be burrowed, as we have a bunch of Stalkers coming in here, but this defensive posture by the Terran, this turtle type of styles could be really hard to break into.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Blink wasn't done yet. If Blink was done a little bit earlier, he might have been able to blink in there and actually get a little bit of damage done, but leading with the Observer, he's going to be able to spot these Widow Mines now. Oh, still get a shot off, though.
Yeah, the Stalkers do have the range on the Widow Mines, which they are able to pick off, but just this defensive stand for the Terran is just so hard to break.
Yeah, Colttarren donating a little bit of health here. He's got Disruptors on the way. I think that might be a pretty good idea here, to send in some Disruptor shots to see if he can sort of mess up the defensive line of Lotus. But so far, I mean, Lotus is just defending, and Colttarren is sort of, like, it looks like he feels like he has to attack into this, which I've been there. That's like, you know, you think in order to win the game, you have to, you know, break the Terran player. But I don't think in this case you really have to do it just now. Oh, catching everything on siege, though, that's a different story. Blinking right on top of the entire army, moving up the ramp here. Still some siege tanks sieged up, though, and I don't know how this is going to end.
Well, the Liberators were able to siege up, but they're, after the reposition, they're able to get on top of everything. The friendly fire ended up taking out the siege tank, so all that's left is a Liberator and some Widow Mines that have already been shot, but there's no... He needs to bring the Observer if he wants to clear these.
Yeah, getting the repair on the 3rd command center. This is huge. If he loses that, it's going to put him so far behind. And it looks like now Colttarren focusing down some of these SCVs that are repairing, but the missile turrets are causing his Phoenix plenty of problems here, and just mayhem all over the place in this section of the map.
Yeah, Widow Mines unburrowing, trying to get a better setup. Oh, very nice Disruptor shot, being able to take out some of those Widow Mines, but there's still some there. Hellions are going to tickle damage everything.
Yeah. This is just crazy. So Colttarren managed to get a lot of expensive units from Lotus, but he lost a lot himself. Still behind in workers and in army supply, so I'm not really favoring him in this engagement. But I guess his unit composition is doing well against the mech, and it definitely helps when you catch your opponent on siege like that. To start
nice scan there by the Terran player to take out the Observer. So with all these Widow Mines, without any detection, those Widow Mines are going to get some work done.
Yeah. Colttarren's still trying to get some probes over to his 3rd base here. He's a little bit oversaturated. There we go. There's the transfer. As it looks like he's going to be taking a 4th base, actually, and I like this plan. Lotus already has his 4th base behind all of this, and I'd like to see some upgrades from some of these players. That would really change the course of the game. Look at all these SCVs that are idle in the main of Lotus, though.
Yeah, he's got the worker advantage. 79. You don't need 79 workers, but when you have 30 of them not doing anything, I guess it makes it pretty even. Like, you look at the supply count, and the 30 difference of it is just workers alone.
Yeah, pretty much. Warp Prism over here, warping in some Zealots. If the Zealots had charge, I'd favor them a lot more in this type of army composition against Lotus, but he's going to come and see this 4th base, and it's not very well defended. Oh, okay, he's thinking about it. I don't know if he's actually seen it or not yet. Lotus is moving into position now with some Liberators and a couple Hellions, and this 4th base is going to be under fire now, right as the SCVs show up. Widow Mines all burrowing together. A few of them went down, just some Disruptor shots there, and down goes the 4th base and a few SCVs as well.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm not liking about the Terran unit composition is it's taking quite a long time for him to actually siege up and to get into his defensive posture. So if Colttarren continues to do what he is doing and being very mobile and moving around, he's going to be able to get advantageous situations on the Terran player.
Disruptors were focused down there, it looked like, before the shots were able to explode, so nice play from Lotus. But I do agree very much with what you're saying here. Colttarren just sort of bounces from base to base, forcing the Terran player to unsiege and move over, and giving Colttarren the chance to catch him unsieged.
50 scans going down to make sure he knows where that army is.
With turrets all over the place, these observers have to be very careful with where they're flying. One of them almost got shot down. And it creates an interesting dynamic for Colttarren to have to deal with. Now we got 6 Hellions being made at a time here. Still, absolutely, like Lotus is allergic to upgrades. He just doesn't want to make any. Where we're getting some, some upgrades coming out of Colttarren as he's trying to attack this base once again, blinking up, going to be able to get one of the siege tanks, but he's taking some pretty heavy fire from the back lines here.
Yeah, and these stalkers are going to be able to just blink. Oh, if these siege tanks get... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If they were able to get a shot off, 4 of them on to those stalkers probably would have killed the vast majority of that army. But a nice blink out by Colttarren was able to save those units.
Yeah, and again, it looks like he's a little tunnel visioned in on trying to attack into this location where I think it would be better to just be sort of moving around the map and attacking different spots. He's got to be careful. These siege tanks have high ground, so his stalker's going to be taking some damage here.
That scan almost caught that observer, and that would have been awful.
Hellions looking like they're trying to run by. Nice blink from Colttarren to zone them back onto their side of the map. That's a pretty good idea from Lotus to try to get some harass damage done here. But it looks like the Zealots are just walking right into tank fire. They are all going to be sacrificed, but giving the Stalkers some chance to get in there and pick off one tank. That was definitely not a cost-efficient trade, though, for Colttarren. And Lotus is still, like, almost 100 supply above Colttarren right now, but like you said, 30 of that is in workers.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this game. Like, really, if Colttarren continues to be really mobile and is able to catch Lotus with his units unsieged, he may be able to take several favorable trades, but just the unit composition is strictly Stalkers and Zealots, which aren't going to do very good against this unit composition. The tech for... Oh no.
What is this? Oh, huge disruptor shots going off on the unsieged tanks. Zealots coming in from the left flanking, and Widow Mines are only just burrowing now. Huge, massive shots from the Widow Mines, but that was awkward on all sides of things. This entire game has just been the definition of awkward, I think, for both these players, just struggling to deal with each other's playstyle.
Yeah, but look at the supply count. It was almost 100 in favor, like you said, and now it's down to 60, and he's just whittling it away because this Terran army is very, very immobile.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that Colttarren came out on top of that one for sure. More Widow Mines. They are all clumping up together. Wow, that was the biggest disruptor versus Widow Mine shot I've ever seen in my life. And since it's such a large part of Lotus's army, he is now starting to crumble here as the Gateway plus disruptor units from Colttarren are finally starting to break through.
Yeah, they're taking out this, what is it, this is the 4th base now. Siege tanks trying to siege up, but it takes too long. They're getting picked off right away.
Yeah, Blink right on top of them. The remaining siege tanks are being taken down, and there's not much left at all for Lotus. He's still got a pretty large army supply, though. I don't know where it is. I guess tanks take up a lot of army supply. There's still Widow Mines scattered around the place.
Well, he's got a bunch all queued up. I think that's where a lot of his army supply is right now.
Yeah, so Colttarren finally takes out the 4th base over here, or the 3rd base on the left, and he's got a massive ball of Stalkers now. Really like the Blink Stalker Disruptor style of play versus Terran. I've been watching some high-level players use this to a very good advantage, so Colttarren making it work here.
Yeah, and these Stalkers moving in on the 3rd. There's also, I don't think Colttarren even knows about it, but there's a base directly above him as well.
Tanks coming in to try to defend.
Oh.
Another disruptor shot going down. Massive blinks on top of everything. And I think Lotus is starting to realize here as he GG's out of this one. And that was a game, man. That's what makes StarCraft so interesting.
That was so back and forth and so odd and unusual. It made for a really good game and really entertaining, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So very good game here for set number 2. Congratulations to Colttarren. Taking that one, going to be evening up the score versus Confed, so it's now 1-1. And we'll see you guys over on set number 3. All right, here we are on set number 3 on Prion Terraces. Let's go ahead and introduce the red Zerg in the bottom right corner of the map, representing Team LiT eSports. He is Solasce.
And spawning the top left portion for Team Confed as the blue Terran, we have Shortland. ZVT on Prion gold bases.
Yeah, you know, this map has been, around for quite a while now. Everyone always talks about the gold bases. The funny thing is, I actually just vetoed this map, even though a lot of people will say that it's Zerg favored. A lot of times when I watch this map, I see the Zerg lose. But also, not only that, I just don't want to deal with how the gold bases change your actual strategy. Like, it's something that doesn't mesh very well with me, so I just don't even bother dealing with it. But I like watching games on it.
Yeah, I veto this map as well. This one and Core Hall Carnage are the two in the map pool that I really don't like using. It does make for considerably interesting games just because of the greed factor, where most players would be like, okay, yeah, I want to take advantage of this gold income at my natural base, whereas other players will think, okay, he's going to be greedy, so if I go aggressive, he's going to be unprepared.
Well, we're seeing the greed from Confed Shortland over here as he goes ahead with the CC first on the low ground, trying to get those gold minerals as soon as possible, following it up with a barracks and probably a gas geyser soon enough here. Nope, yeah, second barracks. That's different.
Well, normally after a CC first, you do follow up with three racks to be defensive, but this SCV is seeing the timing of the spawning pool, knowing that he is not worried about any early aggression for a little bit, so I think these are just defensive barracks. He's taking double gas.
Yeah, pretty interesting here. I wonder how this is going to turn out. This is a diamond matchup, by the way, so these players definitely know what they're doing in terms of strategy and sort of where they want to take this game, so the double gas is something that's very deliberate here coming from Shortland.
And let's just see what he's going to spend it on. The first one being a Marine, not a Reaper. So a Marine start. So he's probably going to start with an early factory, I would assume, after the CC first.
Yeah, the weird thing here is that I would imagine if he went for the CC first, he'd want to get those gold minerals nice and fast and actually transfer a lot of his workers down to the natural, as we tend to see a lot. Like on this side, we see Solasce actually did that. So the income is much higher right now for Solasce, and even though the CC first happened, Solasce is coming out ahead.
Yeah, looking at the income, it was just before this about 200 per minute ahead. Mules are really strong though, although it hasn't been dropped yet. He hasn't even started.
No orbital commands
for either of them. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's something I have not seen, and I don't know if that is optimal or not. I mean, I'm guessing that it's not, but I don't know. I mean, like I was just saying before, these players are diamond level and are very deliberate in their playstyle, so maybe it's something that Shortland's been playing around with. Ling's on the map now, looking all over the place, spreading out, getting eyes everywhere. Always good.
Yeah, looking at the positioning of the overlords, I actually think this overlord up on the top right of the Terran main base looks either going to be a scouting or a possible dropper lord just based off its positioning. But there are overlords and lings everywhere. Yeah. Very, very good map coverage.
Yeah, very good vision from Solasce here. The overlord is coming in, going to try to spot something. That armory in the back of the base is exactly what he's trying to spot. So we'll keep an eye on Solasce's vision here. He does see the tech lab working on stim, and he might be able to get through here to be able to see the armory. And as soon as he sees that, oh, he does see it just in time. So he does get an eye on the armory, and that's going to sort of tip him off on what to expect here. Should see the Roach Warren is coming down now. He's going to have to make a few units here in order to defend against a Hellbat attack.
Yeah, so 3 bases to 2 bases right now. Defensive posture for our Terran player, but with that armory, he's going to look to be a little bit aggressive. The Ling popping up, seeing what he could see. He can't really see the count of the Hellions until they actually make their way out, and he's going to see right now.
Interesting style here. We got 5 Marauders following it up. It's going to be timed up decently well with stim, I think. The attack might hit a little bit earlier, actually, but the Marauders are going to do a good job versus the Roaches. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out here. That's why, like, against this style of play, I sort of prefer the Ling Bane approach. But you can't, like, Solasce couldn't have known that there was going to be this many Marauders coming across as well.
Yeah, Marauders are a great addition. Like, you would normally think, okay, with the bio you would have some Marines mixed in there, but it looks like all of his minerals were used on Hellbats and all of his gas was used on the Marauders, and they're sieging up on this third base. They realize there's nothing there, so they're going to make their way into the natural.
Yeah, choosing to go up the ramp here into the natural instead of taking out the third base. Marauders going to town on the Queens now. There are some Zerglings that are going to be roasted quickly by these Hellions, or Hellbats, sorry, and the Roaches are trying to go to town as well, but they are melting to the Marauders. But it looks like, I don't know, it looks like right now Shortland has the upper hand here. Stim not finished yet, but it is finishing up very soon. There it is, finished now, and the drones are getting a surround on the Marauders.
Yeah, but these Hellbats are going to come in, and the drones smartly run away because a big clump of that like that with those Hellbats will just obliterate all of those drones.
Bunch of Roaches popping though. Clutch timing here. We got like 6 coming down from the main, and this attack will eventually be cleaned up by Solasce. And the worker count is pretty even right now, so I would say enough damage got done by Shortland to you know, to make it worth the investment. Does he have orbitals yet? Okay, he does have orbitals now. Good. Third base coming down, following up with a bunch more barracks, and I think a starport is coming in somewhere. Yes, there it is. So he's going to look to try to macro out of this. What do you think about the decision to go up the main ramp into the natural instead of just taking out the third base?
Well, he figured with an attack like that, with his unit composition, that he was probably favorable and was going to be able to take out a lot of the Zerg units that any Zerg would be able to have at that time, being Zerglings and Roaches. He didn't scout any Baneling nests, so his unit composition was probably geared towards taking out the opponent's defenses. So taking out a base would kind of be... I thought that was more of a killing blow sort of deal, where Solasce was... able to defend with his Roaches. He makes his weak Roaches into Ravagers, so I was expecting a counterattack, but it's not coming anytime soon.
No, he's just going to keep his third base advantage here and just drone up for a little bit more. Or I say that, but he's actually making a bunch of Roaches right now. Any upgrades done? He does have +1/+1 as well as Roach speed finished, so window closing a little bit here as, you know, +1 and +1 armor and attack is on its way for the Terran player as well.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about just this Roach Ravager. He's got a massive army supply right now of 80 to 46 in the lead, making his way across the map to versus this 2-base Terran. But I don't think the Terran has enough. Like, yeah, the Marauders are going to do really good, but if any good bile shots get off,
Solasce is actually, I would say indecisive, but I think it's because he knows, like, he's got a Ling on this tower here, so he knows that Shortland is coming for an attack on the third base. So he's actually just going to turn around and come home and defend instead.
Yeah, defender's advantage. He's going to use that to use that. Now this is not a small force. This is quite the big force going on. We have 11 Marauders and 4 Hellbats and 2 Medevacs. A big stim coming out here, but the Roaches are getting on top of them. Huge bile shots. Oh, almost take out that one full Medevac.
Yeah, that was not a favorable engagement for Shortland. Very good map. That's where that map vision comes into play for Solasce, as he was able to respond perfectly to that attack. And now the third base is done here, but there's nothing to defend it. He's going to have to lift that up and move it into the main here because he's got nothing. There's no siege tanks here. It's all bio, which bio typically is good against Roach Ravager, but he doesn't have enough of it due to his early investment in Hellbats.
Yeah, that bunker going down, starting to burn, and Solasce is just posturing outside. That third had to be lifted. He doesn't have enough Ravagers to be able to pile that down, and it doesn't look like he's even planning on doing that. But he's defending an attack actually right now in his main that was dropped.
Yeah, a few workers had to be pulled away. He's remaking a Roach Warren, so I think I missed that. I think his Roach Warren got picked off here, but he managed to keep his Evo Chambers alive. Now back on the other side of the map, he's going to be moving towards the ramp here. There's one siege tank that's not sieged up. Bunker's about to go down. Corrosive Bile's going to help out in this type of attack as well, and Shortland is being forced on his back foot. SCV's being pulled off the line. Is pushing Solasce back a little bit, but he's losing so many workers in this attack.
Yeah, lots of workers being dropped. It's actually the worker count is not that big of a difference right now. It's 38 to 29. So I'm guessing in that one drop, a lot of drones went down. But now with the Liberator here and this much bio, it looks like it's going to be pushed back, and Solasce is going to have to be on the defensive now.
Yeah, the supply count is actually pretty even right now, and that turned into being quite a good defense from Shortland. Using the SCVs, that just proves exactly how helpful they can be, and that's why people pull them off the line, you know, to be able to buffer for your Marines and Marauders who are shooting from behind and getting a lot of damage done. So now Solasce here has to defend the third base. Got some Lings and Roaches moving around the left side, but his third base is going to be under fire. One Liberator goes down. It's not the best coordinated attack from Shortland here. He's going to end up getting mopped up, I think.
Yeah, but this Liberator on the third is just going to town. It already has 8, 9 kills, 10 kills. And there's nothing that hits air. He doesn't have any Ravagers morphed.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a annoyance here for Solasce to have to deal with. For sure.
Luckily, he already had that fourth off up, and it's pretty saturated. He doesn't have one gas done, but he's making his way across the map with his roaches. And it looks like actually Shortland is gearing up for a massive attack with, what is this, 6 medevacs.
Yeah, a lot of them have units inside them right now. I don't know if that's intentional or not. You're going to have to drop them off right now as the roaches are getting on top of the army. More SCVs being pulled off the line once again. And the units were being dropped out so slowly from the medevacs that these roaches are actually able to get a lot of damage done. Some units stimming in from the high ground. Nice tank medevac micro there. And once again, Kohonski showing his ability to defend here. It looked like he was going to get taken out. But that being said, a ton more workers go down. And now Shortland is sitting on 11 SCVs.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to remake all of that bio. That's going to be able to push back the roach force. Sitting on 28 workers himself, though. He's not really in the best economic position either.
Yeah, it's another scrappy game here. Both these players are just trading blows back and forth here, similar to how last game worked out. But Kohonski here getting a 4th base over at the gold. Now, the thing is, there's much less gold minerals here for Solasce than there are for Kohonski. So if he can protect his gold base, he's going to get the income boost that he needs to pull himself back into this game. That being said, a Baneling Nest is finished up here, and also Ultra Cavern for Solasce.
Yeah, the start of Ultras is going to probably spell the end for Shortland if he's not going to be able to get his income up to a point where he's going to be able to build those units to be able to defend. But here comes another drop coming in, taking out a bunch of units, a bunch of drones.
And the Ultra Cavern.
Yeah.
No Ultras were made. So he has to remake that. Nice use of medevacs there by Shortland to force Solasce back here. And this is not an easy game for Solasce. A lot of his games in the past that we've casted, he's looked dominant. But this game, you know, I would say that at times he looked dominant, but Shortland is hanging on here, and he's not making it easy for Solasce. And, you know, I still can't really tell you with any confidence who I think is going to win this game.
Well, if you just look at the income right now, with only 20 workers to 47, because Solasce was able to make a massive round of drones, he's up almost 600 per minute and almost 800 per minute in gas. So the longer that this match goes, I feel like Solasce is going to max out sooner. He's going to be able to get ultras out, and it's going to be all over but the crying.
Yeah, this one Corruptor being incredibly cost efficient, picking off another medevac that had a bunch of units in it. Here comes probably the do-or-die attack for Shortland over on the right side at the gold base. And Solasce is trying to get in position. There's a couple Liberators trying to siege up here, but it took them a little while. Ravager's going to be able to shoot them out of the sky. But the bio is really strong now. 2-2 bio for Shortland, and he's going to take out that base.
Yeah, another big stim, though, and he only has 2 medevacs, so they do have a lot of energy. I think he's just happy, yeah.
He just wants to pick up and get out of there and take out that base and try to attack another one. He does spot this one over here on the right side, but the Corruptors are chasing down these medevacs. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Oh, he sees them. He's on them. They're going to boost away, probably going to go into the natural.
No idea. They're splitting
up.
up.
No, and there's a Spore.
Yeah, this medevac is taking lots of damage here on this side. It's going to end up going down. Sees 3 Ultras on the map now. And it looks like Solasce is being stretched a little too thin here. Now that we have the Ultras on the map, the chitinous plating is about halfway done. Plus 3 armor as well. Here comes another baso onto the, or another drop, sorry, onto the main base here. Picking off some Evo chambers. Definitely annoying as the upgrades are not finished yet for Solasce, and he's going to pick up and get on out of there.
Yeah, so it looks like with this kind of harass, Shortland is able to keep Solasce at home and try to build his army. If you're looking at the supplies, they're relatively even right now, and with those drops, he was able to even up the drone count, the worker count as well.
And this medevac over on the right side actually survived, so it's going to drop all the Marines here, +2/+2 Marines, keep in mind, and they're going to be trying to focus down this base. The Corruptors are here, though, and picking off some medevacs, and these guys are not going to be able to escape.
No, and when you see 3 Ultras coming barreling down at you, and you're a Marine, you got to run for your life, but it's all over there. And he cleans up the drop, and another massive bio push being pushed towards that, what is it, the 5th base at the top left, or right, sorry.
Plus a drop in the main as well. Shortland multitasking, doing really well here, but this main bio force is not going to be able to take on 3 Ultras as it's trying its best, but there's no medevacs to support the stim. 1 Ultra breaks into pieces, flies across the map, but the rest of the bio here is having tons of trouble. And this drop in the main might actually take out the Hive. Yes, it's going to take out the Hive. Oh man, this game is just all over the place here.
Yeah, hard to cast a game with the multitasking being so good. On the top portion of the map, the Solasce was able to clear up that push that didn't have any medevacs. He was able to take out 1 of the Ultras just because of kiting, but here it is, caught with another bio push, just standing right in the way of these Ultralisks. Oh, and burrow.
Yeah, burrowing down here. I don't think it was really effective, but it looked cool. And the bio's landing on the Ultralisk here. Actually, this CC is going to have to lift up. There's really not a ton of bio here to support the defense here for Shortland. These Ultras are just so tough to deal with. One of them does go down, though. Siege Tank in a pretty good spot, but 3 more Ultras have joined the fray. The bio's going to stim, try to pull back, try to keep the Siege Tank alive, but oh man, this is so tough for Shortland here.
Yeah, he's putting the Liberators in pretty good positions. The Bile's trying to take out, actually end up getting that CC on fire, but this Zerg moving over to the other gold base, gonna have to lift up right away, but these SCVs are gone. Yeah. Down to 6 workers for the Terran.
Yeah, this is looking rough for Shortland now. Now that the Ultras are out and starting to mass up, combined with the Roach Ravager is just something that's a little bit too tough for Shortland to deal with. He doesn't have 3/3 yet, so, and that's pretty much out of the picture as he's got no minerals mining right now. A bunch of mules just landed, but this command center, if it doesn't get repaired, it's going to burn down eventually.
Yeah, he doesn't have the money to repair it anyways. Like, you're looking at, if we go back to the income tab, the Zerg is up 600 per minute right now with 34 workers to 6. This late in the game, another drop coming into the main, or into the natural right here.
Yeah, he picked off one of the bases. Like, he's not going down without a fight. But 2 Ultras pop just in time to deflect this away. But he did pull Shortland all the way back home. There's 2 Lings here. Oh, these 2 Lings! Are they going to do it? No, they won't.
No. Is he going to get the repair off, though? These,
Yeah, they're...
Oh, no, they were returning.
One of them is.
Okay.
One of them's repairing, so that base is going to survive. But the counterattack now for Shortland takes out the 3rd base or the 4th base, whatever order that happened in. And now we have a massive bulk of Ultras and Ravagers. And once again, trying to push up this natural ramp to win the game here. It's proven very tough for Solasce in the past in this game, but I mean, eventually he's got to break through, right?
Yeah, and all those mules just went down. They still had about half of their lifespan left, and if you're looking at the income tab, it is 27 minerals per minute. It's not even going up at the moment.
Yeah, it's literally just static, 27 minerals there. Now it's gone down to 0. These 2 medevacs with a drop in each of them both get picked off, and that was Shortland's sort of MO there, trying to pull Solasce all the way back again to continue buying him some time, but I think the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah, Liberators are really strong, but there's the GG. He sees the, what is that, 6 Ultras coming into his natural base, and he realizes that he has been defeated.
Yeah, the Corruptors were a good addition here in the late game to pick off those medevacs that were pretty much what kept Shortland in the game. That was a very exciting ZVT, very interesting, good back and forth attacks. I know I missed a drop or two, so I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to get better, but these guys multitasking is way better than me, even when I'm not playing the game. So I'm working on it, but it does lead to another victory for LiT eSports. Solasce is going to take the 2-1 lead here as we move into set number 4. All right, here we are on set number 4 on Overgrowth. This time we're going to be featuring the pink Zerg up in the top right corner, featuring team Lost in Translation. She is Fuzzles.
And spawning the bottom left-hand corner for team Confed, it is the yellow Zerg, it is Titan. CVZ on Overgrowth, one of your favorite maps.
Yeah, Overgrowth has always been my favorite map. Some of the best games I ever played have been on this map. As we are kicking things off here. Looks like no one's going to be going for any early aggression. No 14-14, no 13-12, none of that stuff. And Fuzzles actually seems to be gearing up for, well, I don't know. I mean, she could still drop a pool here. But no, there goes the drone.
Yeah, drone going out for hatch first, whereas it looks like Titan is going for the spawning pool and gas first. So a little bit of an economic edge for Fuzzles in the beginning, but nothing really out of the ordinary to start this game.
Yeah, it's a little risky going for that hatch first, because if Titan was doing any sort of early play, you wouldn't have been able to scatter it in time, and then you'd definitely be on the defensive here. But not the case here. Getting the pool first, or the gas and then the pool, however it worked out there for Titan. Either way, it's more of a safe opening, not really an aggressive opening.
Yeah, just preparing for anything to come their way. Just a reminder that this is a gold matchup, as we see the spawning pool coming down for Fuzzles as well as gas. So both players are mining gas at the moment. See whether or not either of them pull out at 100.
Yeah, that is something to actually keep in mind here.
Well, what both players do with the initial gas is really important, as we see a baneling nest, very early baneling nest before speed come down for Titan.
Yeah, that indicates that he's expecting like early aggression, but he actually went ahead and just canceled it. So, cancels the Bane Nest, sacrificed a little bit of gas there. It's actually delaying the speed. So considering he went gas and pool first before Fuzzles did, the speed is actually started first for Fuzzles.
Yeah, and a early spine crawl. The Overlord hasn't even made it to the natural yet, and he's making a spine crawler. Not seeing any lings yet, but still preemptively putting down some static defense.
Yeah, you know, it brings me back to the old days when I was in the Gold League, and I used to make a spine crawler every single ZVZ as well. I thought that the 100 minerals and the drone was actually worth the early investment. Turns out it's not quite worth it, but that being said, if Fuzzles was to go for some early aggression here behind the hatch first, then it would pay off. But, you know, well, you're basically investing in something that you think might happen without having any proof. And there's actually more lings out on the map here for Titan right now.
Yeah, their lings are in the middle of the map. Looks like Fuzzles is retreating back to her natural, to the safety of her own creep. Looks like a spine crawler is going down for her as well. Speaking of that Gold League stuff, I remember at one point the same as you, where I used to think that the first drone, especially if you go hatch first, the first drone that goes down to your natural should be made into a spine crawler just because you're taking a greedy opening.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that it's easy to rationalize until you have a much more complete understanding of the game. See, for example, like the spine crawler going down for Fuzzles here was more reactionary, right? And it turns out that since Titan actually lost a lot of his lings in that initial engagement, he doesn't seem to be going for anything super aggressive now. He's getting lair, actually, which indicates that he just wants to keep Fuzzles on her side of the map and be able to buy some time to tech up.
Yeah, defensive banelings coming in for Fuzzles, where no 4 aggressive banelings being pulled in, and these lings are just going to go directly by them.
Yeah, this is interesting here. Third base for Fuzzles, too. I actually really like that play. We're going to have things happening on both sides of the map here. These banelings for Titan are going to try to get around, and 2 of them are going to go down before they can go off, but nice connection there. 6 workers going down. And on the other side of the map, the lings are over here for Fuzzles, checking for a third base, not going to see it, and going to come in and try to get some damage done. Now, this spine crawler might pay for itself. Or
no. Looks like the link count is relatively even. But this spine crawler is going to end up cleaning this all up. Yeah.
2 kills. That's 100 minerals.
That's 25 minerals.
That's 50, actually.
50 minerals, yes.
You're
sorry.
Right.
Our math is wrong.
Yeah, so it still has not paid for itself. But anyway, the third base here for Fuzzles is going to sort of make up for that, that Baneling explosion that killed a bunch of drones here. She was just behind. She's actually ahead now. And oh my god, this just throws me right back. The Roach and the double Evo chamber and the wall. Next thing you know, she's going to make 2 extra queens and put them in the little alleyway there, and it'll be just like I was playing.
Yeah, just like HOTS. Now, the only difference between the 2 builds right now, I would say, is that actually +1 is being started and Roach speed, so they're both on Roaches, but the lair isn't finished for Fuzzles just yet.
Yeah, Roach speed. If she starts it right away, which she still has to wait for the Roach Warren to finish, actually. So, this Roach speed advantage is getting bigger and bigger here for Titan, and if there is an engagement in the middle of the map, that might actually come into play here. But he's not getting a lot of gas. He's got double gas in his main, and none at the natural here. So he's going to not be able to make as many Roaches as Fuzzle will.
Yeah, and if I were Fuzzles, she has a Overlord right over this third location, knowing that she is a full base ahead, even has some drones there as it is. So if she just plays defensive and is able to hold on to her third base, she's going to have a commanding lead as the worker count now rises to 47 to 35.
Yeah, see, Titan's on his way out now, moving across the map with Roaches. He's got a pretty big army supply lead, and Fuzzles is now making Roaches here to try to defend against this, and it's just basically 100% unit production mode for the moment here for Fuzzles to make sure she can survive. And as long as she survives this attack, then she's going to be very far ahead in this game.
Yeah, the Lings, because the Roaches were on move command, were able to get some damage on these Roaches before they made their way across the map, but she did end up losing them all. We're looking at the Roach count now. It's 17 to 6 right now.
It's a scary attack coming here for Titan, and he is killing a lot of the Roaches here. That Spine Crawler getting some work done from behind the wall. And I don't know if I like this from Titan. He's trying to force himself through. He does pick off the Spine Crawler, and he's going into the mineral line trying to pick off some Roaches here, but the indecision is pretty clear to see here as he's now moved back to the Roaches, and eventually Fuzzle's going to have enough time to be able to clean this up. But it was a very good attack from Titan. I just think that forcing himself into the actual natural through the wall here of Fuzzles was the mistake, because he gave up his good positioning. He probably could have sat out here and picked off the Roach Warren, maybe picked off some of these upgrades, but instead a couple of workers go down. Looks like he's killed 2 in that attack, and that's it. Lost the rest of his Roaches.
Yeah, the big difference between it all also was that Fuzzles was on 3 hatch larvae, whereas only if she was able to defend that first wave, she would have enough larvae to be able to make enough to push it back completely.
Yeah, for sure. Now we have Burrow coming in, and +2 for Titan as he's going to work towards a follow-up attack here. Fuzzles moving a small amount of Roaches across the map, going to be looking for a third base. Spots the creep here, and there's nothing to defend. A few Roaches coming out here, but that's not enough to defend this third base going down.
Not looking at the units again. It's 15 to 12. 1-1 just finished up, so it's going to be 1-1 Roaches versus 1-0 Roaches.
Yeah, third base goes down, gets out of the way of the Broodlings, and just run off back home. And keeping the lead here is Fuzzles. She's got a almost double worker count over Titan, and got the Hydra Den out now. Going to be able got +2/+2 on the way, and things are just looking much better on her side of the map here.
Yeah, with an economy that is that big, and picking off that third, which was huge. Yeah, she sacrificed a couple Roaches to be able to get it, but now she knows for sure she's still at a full base advantage, and she could just defend anything that comes her way now. So, supplies is in her favor, but let's see whether or not this Burrow and Tunneling Claws can actually make it a little bit closer.
Yeah, this is something that Titan needs to do to sort of surprise Fuzzles and get some damage done. Fuzzles literally running right over the Roach. Oh, she heard that. Or maybe she saw it with the base there at the gold. But another confrontation happening at the gold base here. And the upgrades are relatively even. 1-1 versus 1-1. That would be exactly even. Oh, wait, no, it's just one. Wait.
It's 1-1 now versus 1-1, yeah.
Okay. When I clicked on his roaches, all I saw was armor.
Yeah, but these roaches are, Oh, you're right. I'm clicking on them too, and I'm only seeing armor.
Yeah, it's because they're burrowed. They can't attack. That's why.
Yeah.
Once they unburrow. So here he's coming into the natural once again. Overseers are going to pop though.
Oh, perfect timing for them to finish up. They're going to be able to see. They're not going to hurry into your natural as they unburrow here. I think that
it's not a bad spot for Titan, using the choke to his advantage, but he doesn't have enough roaches. Yeah, he's basically just wasting time now, trying to keep Fuzzles at home. But that's not really going to work too well for him.
No, and that third base just coming down now, while a fourth base at the gold is coming up for Fuzzles. So again, she's still a full base ahead, almost 2 full bases ahead right now.
Yeah, plus all the tech as well. She's got the Hydra Den already done. Just waiting on that infestation pit now. There it is, about a quarter of the way done. And moving across the map now. +2/+2 is finished for Fuzzles. And this very well could be the killing blow. Both players moving on opposite sides of the map here. And, I mean, maybe Fuzzles will lose a fourth base, but Titan's going to lose a third.
Yeah, and keeping that third down and keeping her advantage is huge. She was able to get the cancel on it. So, and she's realizing that her gold base is being attacked, but she doesn't care about that. She's already had a third base running this entire time. Supplies are 144 to 92 right now. She's coming back to defend right now.
Yeah, not a bad decision. You already have the lead. You don't want to really lose what's giving you your lead. Titan actually, like, it's going to take a while for Fuzzles to get here. So if he executes his attack well, he might be able to pull himself closer in this game. But it looks like he was focusing down some workers. He's actually got 29 worker kills right now, which is huge, but still actually has a worker disadvantage right now. So Fuzzles been droning like mad.
But the Overseers are here now. And they're just going to get picked off.
Okay. Titan trying to take a fourth base over here, but also luring Fuzzles' army in that direction. Looks like he is going to be able to get away. Hidden fourth base on the other side of the map doesn't usually pay off for a Zerg player.
No, not at all. Not for Zerg anyways. Like, if the second that she sees the creep or anything like that, it's going to be just destroyed. But he's got to do something. Like, he knows he hasn't been able to get up a third base this entire game while Fuzzles is sitting pretty on 3 and getting a fourth at the gold.
Yeah, Lurker Den is just about finished for Fuzzles as well. So things are going to just continue to get harder and harder for Titan in this matchup.
Yeah, I liked Titan's idea with the burrowed roaches like that. You don't see that. I haven't really seen that at all. Any burrow play really in Legacy of the Void, so it's made it pretty interesting. He's got his own lurkers now, or his own lurker, just one of them. And the upgrades are still in Fuzzles' advantage, 1-2 to 2-2.
Yeah, and now Fuzzles moving across the map here, going to try to set up the lurkers in an offensive position and then just sort of dictate the fight around them.
Yeah, 6 lurkers burrowed, and no detection for either player here right now. Now, Fuzzles Overseers are showing up.
Yeah, this is not a very cost-efficient trade for either player. As pretty much all of Fuzzles' army gets taken out, but there literally is no Overseer here for Titan, so he's losing everything as well.
Yeah, so the reinforcements that are going to come, he needs detection, and he doesn't have any. So there it goes. 2 Overseers being morphed in. Supply is 75 to 112.
Yeah, that was a pretty good move from Titan, as his lurkers probably surprised Fuzzles, and he was able to take a cost-efficient trade there. But Fuzzles can afford to take inefficient trades, given how much of an economic lead she has.
And the addition of walking right, that was a bad idea. You had detection, you didn't need to walk directly into those lurkers and lost almost everything there.
And Fuzzles reinforcements showing up now. There goes the spine crawler. It lived most of the game. And now the drone's going down for Titan. Sorry, eventually this natural base is going to go down as well.
Yeah, supply dropping rapidly. It's pretty much over now. 36 to 140. She's got a gold base that's being that had a couple lurkers attacking it, or sorry, a couple hydras attacking it from that hidden third base up in the top left corner, but was cleaned up from the reinforcements of Fuzzles, and it looks like it's pretty much over.
Yeah, there's a GG for Titan, and that's going to give us a 3-1 lead in this series. Very well played. Fuzzles showing that she has a really good understanding of the ZVZ matchup, I think. Very few actual mistakes made in terms of decision making, and she knows how to get a lead and secure it and make sure she doesn't lose it. And once again, taking another win now, her second of the season. So that's going to do it for this map. We'll see you guys on set number 5. All right, here we are, guys. Set number 5 on Arena. Let's go ahead and introduce the purple Protoss in the bottom left corner of the map, representing Team Lost in Translation. He is Amicus.
And spawning the top left-hand portion as the blue Protoss for Team Confed, it is TossNoSkill.
Hey, he said it, not us.
Yeah, he said it. Although I do agree.
And he's going to go ahead and be the first scout across the map here, right after that pylon. Very early scout. Usually that indicates a cheesy mindset.
He's not even going. No, he's not even going to the main. He's gone over to these rocks.
And he's patrolling the rocks, so we'll most likely be seeing some sort of shenanigans go down on that side of the map from TossNoSkill. Meanwhile, for Amicus, getting his gateway down, getting double gas himself, and moving across the map for a scout.
Yeah, now I think realistically, if he wants to put it that close, it was good to send the scout out early, send that probe out early, just in case Amicus was going to come with a scout as well and see that probe was out on the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got it there hiding now, so Amicus just doesn't even know that there is a probe on the map. That was almost blocked by TossNoSkill, but instead the probe is going to get in. Going to see only one gas and the Cybercore going down.
Yeah, so I'm curious, because there's no the second gas is just going down now, what this probe is going to be for.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, the Cybercore is already halfway done. So if it was going to be for a Twilight Council or a Stargate, then I think the pylon would already be down. Maybe this isn't even for a proxy. You could just be saving the probe here so he can go scout for a second base.
That's really odd though. Why would you send it out after your 9 or after your I'm thinking HOTS, after your 13 pylon?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? He's got his own mindset here, and I'm sure there's a pylon.
We knew it was there for something. We knew it.
Now we got double stalker being chronoed out here for Amicus. Going to be able to chase this probe away from TossNoSkill.
As we see a chrono boost down on the cybernetics core for that warp gate research. So we're going to have a total of 3 gateways from TossNoSkill, and his counter on the other side of the map, Amicus, with 2 gateways and a Twilight Council.
Yeah, and he's making a lot of stalkers here, so definitely most likely going to be seeing some blink play coming out of Amicus.
Oh no!
As a defense.
Oh no!
The stalker scouts it. That's
and
another
the drone
gateway over there. So it's just a 4-gate attack coming out of TossNoSkill.
Yep.
I mean, a 4-gate does not take very much skill.
No, not at all. And he accidentally trapped that probe there when he built the gateway. Oh no, he didn't. Okay. There it goes. Putting down. Oh, he's really committing to this. He's going to put down the second. Yeah.
If this gets taken out, then he's not going to be able to attack him, and he's just going to be super far behind. He's actually got a sentry coming up to try to threaten these stalkers, but this is not going to work too well for him. So he's got to turn this into a warp gate incredibly quickly and get a warp in started, but I don't think that's going to happen here, as now we got a Zealot joining the fray as well. And these stalkers are just really messing things up for TossNoSkill here.
Yeah, shutting this attack down. They should really kill the probe there to stop it from building. But it's going to make warp-ins. It's going to be an empowered pylon, so they're going to be able to warp in there. Nice force field to block it off.
Yeah, I mean, Warp gate is done, but he hasn't turned this into a warp gate. So every pylon he makes is basically just 100 minerals wasted since he's not putting it to use. And now he's back home, basically just defending.
Yeah.
Dropping a robo.
But again, he left the probe. He left the probe there, and he didn't kill the gateway. So if he put down yet another pylon, that would be the 4th one or 5th one that he puts down. But with 6 stalkers moving across the map, this is a pretty big force in comparison. But with the mothership, oh no, the mothership core.
Yeah, he's gonna have to recall out of there. TossNoSkill still has his mothership core. He's got sentries as well. Very nice force field, sectioning off part of the army. Going to be able to pick off a couple stalkers here, and this is not something that Amicus wants to attack into.
No, not at all. And that mothership core of Amicus escaped with like, what does that say? 2 health?
Yeah, there's a message thing.
Yeah, there's a message thing in the way. I can't see it.
I'd say it's 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Continuing to try to shove himself up the ramp here, but yet another force field. He does have Blink now, so the force fields are not quite as useful, but he's not going to be able to break up there. Instead, Amicus should probably be thinking about taking a second base.
Yeah, the mothership core should be there though to photon overcharge. That would really help with the pylon right there.
Yeah, the mothership core's not helping too much here over on this side of the map, or on this side of the base, I guess. And now TossNoSkill has an observer out on the map as well, and Immortal front boosting out. Wow, the big blink here from TossNoSkill, and that's going to force the photon overcharge out of TossNoSkill. I think I said the blink from TossNoSkill, and it was really from Amicus. But yeah, he's going to be forced away. He has a lot of stalkers, but Defender's advantage with the mothership core, and now there's an Immortal out, and some probes in the mix as well.
I like the forward blink to try and get as much damage done as possible with the blink advantage, but with the mothership core still alive and has some energy and an Immortal, although he did just pop the shield on the Immortal.
Amicus is really trying. Yet another blink, focusing the Immortal down. Will be able to take it out. Mothership core goes down as well, but not before getting off the photon overcharge. And the stalkers for Amicus are finding themselves a little bit outnumbered here.
Yeah, looking at the supplies though, it's 41 to 30. The only thing that I would give to TossNoSkill is the fact that he has an Immortal. Like an Immortal is huge, but if he pops the barrier again.
Now TossNoSkill is making a bit of a mistake to be moving out on the map here. But actually, maybe it's not a mistake. He's going to be able to push Amicus back and try to... Oh my god, the blinks here from Amicus are just so aggressive, and he's not even going to be able to pick off that Immortal just yet. Finally, the Immortal goes down, and these colors are so similar that I can barely tell who's winning, but it looks like TossNoSkill is winning.
Yeah, who needs blink when you can just micro and you can just pull them back? There you go.
Wow, this is a very intense stalker battle here. Amicus able to warp in reinforcements right on the point here, although it is the 12-second warp in, and both players are not dead yet, but another scrappy game. This week has been just packed full of scrappy games.
Yeah, I'm liking Amicus's position with having the blink advantage and having a 8-worker lead in a mirror matchup. The worker lead is just so important.
He did just give away his mothership core, though. It was over on this side of the map attacking the assimilator, and TossNoSkill just walked up and shot it dead. So that kind of sucks for Amicus. As now another Immortal hits the field. There is a sentry here for some possible Guardian Shield. That sentry's or that stalker's not going to finish. There goes the pylon. Both players once again have not taken a second base yet. I think Amicus missed his chance. He could have built the second base quite a while ago and just sort of kept the pressure on with his map control, but now he's got no second base to fall back to, and he's going to be defending against Immortals.
And look at this, because that probe was able to stay alive, now TossNoSkill has a forward fast warp-in pylon right on the other side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. He put that pylon there for quite a while ago, and that one little thing, you kill that probe, and there's no way another probe's going to be getting across to the side of the map, when you're putting on as much pressure as you are if you're Amicus. But now, this stalker is about to relay some terrible information back home. There is a sentry, though, so he could get the force field down and buy himself a little bit more time for his own Immortal to finish.
Popping the Guardian Shield going in.
Oh, he actually gets up, though. The Immortal gets up, too. This is very dangerous here for Amicus. He's going to be pulling back a little bit, but most of his Stalker's taking lots of damage. Blink not really helping out too much. Immortal's finished now, but there's so much here for TossNoSkill.
Yeah, one Immortal versus one Immortal, but there's no Stalkers left, so the shield is popped on the Immortal. It's gone, and I think that's it. That's the end of it. He can't warp in fast enough. These Stalkers and Immortal are just going to knock everything down, and there's the GG.
3-2 now. Team Confederation brings it closer, and something happened in set number 6 that we are going to explain to you after, so that it doesn't sort of ruin too much, and we'll be able to just cast the ace match, and we'll be able to see where that goes. But as far as this one, I think a bit of a missed opportunity for Amicus, not building the second base. I think if he makes the second base when he realizes that up here it's going to be really hard to break in, instead of just fully committing, just keep the containment, you can come back and you could be making way more Immortals, way more Stalkers, maybe some upgrades and things like that. But
yeah, and leaving that probe there to repower that gateway, even just taking out the gateway, like it takes a while for a gateway to build. So having that forward fast warp and pylon was crucial for this attack. Like, yes, the Immortal count, having it out before Amicus did, was huge, but stopping that forward warping would have been crucial to defend this attack.
Yeah, but it was a very interesting game. There was that epic Stalker battle over here on this side of the map, and very good game from both players. Going to be 3-2 in terms of the score here for Team Lost in Translation, and we're going to go into the ace match, so we'll see you there. All right, here we are for the ace match of week number 2, LiT versus Confed. Let's go ahead and introduce the LiT player in the bottom right corner, the red Protoss player. He is Intuition.
And spawning the top left portion as the pink Protoss for Team Confed, it is Kira.
So another PvP. We've had a lot of PvPs today.
We've had lots of mirror matchups as well, ZVZs, PvPs.
Yeah. Not a lot of Terran players today.
That's a good thing. I hate Terran.
I like watching games that Terran is involved in, though.
Yeah. So what do you think of PvP on this map? Like, mirror matchups are always hard to guess because both players could literally, especially in something like Protoss, players could go completely different tech paths.
Yeah, for sure. Kira is sending out 2 probes across the map. I wonder what that's supposed to do. Guess we'll find out.
Oh, well, we can look in her base and realize that a gateway isn't building.
Yeah, okay, wow, yeah. It's a forge. I guess I should have just realized that. So the pylon going down already in Intuition's main, and the probe is just out here scouting. So the second probe is basically just there as sort of like a backup should anything bad happen to this one. So we're going to see a cannon rush here against a Protoss player right inside his own main.
Yeah. Oh.
Look at this. This probe is actually successfully surprising, or sort of distracting Intuition, but now all the cannons are on display for all to see. 5 cannons going down here.
Yeah, the big thing was that if you look up in the top right portion of Kira's base, there is Intuition's probe, who did go and scout and saw that it was a cannon rush, and he has his own forge now, so it is going to be a bunch of cannons versus a bunch of cannons.
Yeah, but the cannons for Kira are finishing up here. It's going to be 3 versus 1 at the moment. And yeah, this is not ending well here for Intuition. Wow. So the cannons are going to town.
And the probes are going across the map that are going to do battle. Oh, and defensive photon cannons being warped in along with the gateway. And no GG.
Yeah, Intuition just leaves the game. So that was incredibly quick. 2.5 minute game here. Pretty successful cannon rush, I would say, coming out of Kira in the ace match. So that's something that we got to see.
That's a pretty ballsy move in an ace match. You know that you have one game that you can throw away. If it works, hey, you got a 1-0 lead, and if you don't, you still have an opportunity to come back. So Kira with the 1-0 lead in the ace match, that's huge.
Yep. Very good game there. So, all right, that was quick. We'll see you guys for set number 2 on the next map. All right, here we are, game number 2 of the ace match on Invader. Let's introduce the red Protoss player in the bottom right corner. Getting cheesed right out of last match, he is Intuition.
And spawning the top right portion for Team Confed as the pink Protoss, it is Kira, pulling off that very nice Geez, I can't even talk. The photon cannon rush was very nice and ended up securing her a 1-0, or him or her, a lead in this ace matchup. I like the pulling of the second drone to kind of move it around the base and bait out, so the other probe had enough time to build the cannons. That was really cute.
Yeah, it was a nice idea there from Kira. And now we have a quick scout coming out of Intuition. So let's say you're playing in the ace match and you just lost that game from a huge cannon rush. It's got to affect your mindset going into game number 2, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. If I got cannon rush, it's going to be really hard for me to play with a broken keyboard.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, it's totally understandable to be frustrated to lose to something like that, but at the same time, you just got to keep in mind, like, StarCraft is a game that gives you all the tools to handle every situation. And if you didn't catch it, then it's your fault, you know?
Well, I think it was tough for Intuition because he did scout it. He did see it. He had that probe there that saw that it was a forge and not a gateway building, and ended up building his own forge. But when Kira goes and builds 5 cannons to your 2 cannons, and they're all about to finish at about the same time, 5 is bigger than 2, and end up winning that, and it's just really tough to have to deal with that kind of loss after you did scout it.
Yeah, I definitely get you there. I mean, like I was saying, being frustrated isn't the issue. It's just about realizing, like, you could have done the same thing to him. You know, you have the same tools. You guys are both Protoss, so. And it looks like Intuition is thinking about getting them back here with this proxy pylon over here. I'm guessing we're going to see a Stargate.
Yeah, proxy Stargate in a very, very close location. Like, literally, you can, if you move the map, you can see the gateways and the pylons on the same screen. It is that close.
Yeah.
And a gateway as well, so that the forward the forward warpins are going to be there as well.
Imagine if that pylon was close enough so you can warp in the main. That would be crazy. I don't think it is, though.
Well, didn't they have that on Overgrowth? If you put the pylon close enough to the edge of the third, you can warp into the natural?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know that people would use, like, siege tanks in that location all the time. But anyway, the scout is done here for Intuition. He sees the double gate. Nothing really too spectacular on Kira's side. And back home, he's got 2 gates of his own, including plus the third one about to finish here. So what's he going to make out of this Stargate?
Yeah, but look at Kira. Kira with the proxy as well. Both players are proxying each other. Virtually in the same location, except Intuition scouts it.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing. Intuition comes in, sees that there's a Twilight Council and a forward gateway. He's going to pick off the probe first and work away on this pylon.
So Kira's decision based on that is to just take a second base, which I think if you're not being proxied is a good idea, but I'm pretty sure that decision alone is going to be what, well, maybe not that decision alone, but it's not going to help Kira's lifespan in this match.
Now, with not an Oracle coming out, but a Void Ray, this isn't just a harassment forward Stargate. It is a killing blow Stargate with 1 base to 2 base. This Zealot's making his way across the map. Stalker's already in tow, so it's going to be quite a big force coming out from this proxy location.
Yeah, he started off making an Oracle, but I guess he canceled it and switched to a Void Ray. And 2 Void Ray is going to be very good against any sort of Stalker or Immortal defense here that Kira might be able to go for. Kira has his own Stargate now, but he's not making anything out of it right now.
No. Well, with the Mothership Core with almost full energy, it's going to be able to get some photon overcharges out. But with these being Void Rays, they can target down the pylon very, very quickly.
Here we go. Stalkers are engaging in the natural. Void Rays going to town on some of the Stalkers of Kira. Mothership Core coming on over, but there's not going to be a pylon here. I mean, a couple shots of the photon overcharge go off, but there's really not much else here. A few Stalkers, and they are going down very quickly. And there's a GG coming out of Kira. And another quick game following up the first one. And we have a ace match within the ace match going to the third game to see who's going to take this.
Yeah, good game by Intuition. Looked like he was upset about the cannon rush to start the first game, so pulls his own cheats with some proxy shenanigans going on, and it was very nice. I think the big thing there was the fact that Kira didn't have the mothership core in position to be able to put those 2 photon overcharges down on both pylons right there right away. So by the time the mothership core got there, there was only 1 pylon, and its shields were already gone, so it got virtually no damage to him whatsoever.
Yeah, and he never saw the proxy either. So I think the mothership core is moving into the main because he was like, well, a Stargate type unit can be showing up anytime soon, but instead it came right at the front door, and that was all she wrote. So I'm really excited to see how both players are going to respond in the third game, because I mean the cheese is just flying everywhere here, and I mean who knows what they're going to do in the next match. So let's go ahead and meet you guys over there, and we will finish up this ace match. All right, here we are on the last map of the day. It is going to be Arena. Let's go ahead and introduce the Lost in Translation player. Up in the top left of red Protoss, he is Intuition, with probes leaving the map.
And spawning in the bottom left position as the pink Protoss for Team Confed, it is Kira.
Also with a pylon out here blocking anything that Intuition was going to try to do with that probe. These guys, man, they are just trying to figure out the most non-standard way to deal with each other.
Yeah, it's we've seen cheese the first 2 games. Now, luckily, Intuition comes back and sees that Kira's probe did not go home.
So there's a forge being made on both sides of the map. So Intuition is making a forge that's going to be finishing up pretty soon here, but it's going to take him forever to get his probe across the other side with the pylon block here on the ramp. So this, like a cannon rush, is not going to work.
No, and Kira went ahead and canceled the forge, so no cannons coming out of Kira.
Is he going to make a second base, do you think, very early?
That'd be pretty funny, considering both players have gone for cheese in both of these games. Now this probe finally making its long trek around. It's not even going to see the gateway.
No, but
going to see the
base.
Yeah, dropping of the Nexus. Did the Vision see the gateway?
Let's see. I'm sure he assumes. Yeah, he did see it.
There we go.
So he's going to follow it up with a cyber core of his own, and essentially, like, this cannon in this forge for Intuition is a big waste of money.
Yeah. Completely big waste of money, but after the first 2 games being cheesier than a cheese pizza, there's you got to be defensive, and now now Intuition has been mind gamed and is at a disadvantage with Kira's second base almost halfway done.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty hard. I mean, it's not impossible to come back from a position like this, but like not only are you behind in the minerals that it costs to build those 2 buildings, like 300 minerals, but also in the time. You know, like you said, this base is just finishing up here. Now the Stargate is probably the only thing that he could really go for here to try to catch back up. If his Oracle can get across the map and do some decent worker damage, he might be able to pull himself closer in terms of economy.
Yeah, and with the canceling of the Forge and the Cybercore not even done yet, any sort of defense against the Stargate unit won't be coming anytime soon. Although there's the Stargate, a little bit delayed, so almost a full, the full duration.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see how that sort of plays into this matchup here. Going to be a classic case of attacker versus defender. And we'll see if Kira has the skills to be able to hold off Intuition here. Intuition did hit Masters during his practice for this matchup here, so practice paying off here. He definitely has the skills to pull this one back.
Yeah, although I'm not liking his position right here, although I do like the Stargate. I don't like the fact that he still hasn't... Oh, he did build a second base, and look where it is.
Yep, at the gold. And see, like, this is what I was just talking about. Like, he's making the right decisions to pull himself back into this game. There's not a very high chance at all that this is going to be scouted by Kira. And if it goes unscouted for long enough, then he's going to be able to really take an advantage off that and pull himself back in the game with the better income provided. But he can't really transfer all his probes that far, so it's going to take a while for that income to kick in.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't know how many games that I've actually played on Arena. For the longest time, I didn't know there was a gold here. Yeah. My games have never gotten that far to the point where the gold is relevant.
So some Adepts coming in here. Going to be able to get some damage done. A couple probes going down already. They should be able to kite this Zealot pretty easily. Don't even have to kite, apparently. You just take it to the face. But now there's a Void Ray out, and you can't really do anything about that. So try to get as many probes as you can before you shoot away. And that's what's happening here with the Adept.
And the Oracle going in and not getting anything done because of the Photon Overcharge. And the Void Ray going to come to clean it up. Hopefully Intuition realizes this and gets out of... No.
Lost the Oracle. Did have 3 kills. I totally missed that. So I apologize. I was watching the Adepts versus the Void Rays.
So interesting start to this game. Both players are now on 2 bases. 1 gold, 1 not. Both players with Stargate, with this Void Ray moving across the map to see whether or not it can catch out any Stargate units.
Yep, there's a Phoenix coming out across the map. There's 2 already on the map now, so those are going to be pretty good against the Void Rays, I'd imagine. Seeing that there's no second base, and he's going to go back home and play defensive.
Yeah, how long do you think it's going to take for him to realize that it's a gold base?
No idea.
If you're,
it really kind of depends.
Yeah, if you're anything like me, I didn't even know there was a gold base on this map for the longest time.
Was this like the first time you've ever seen that?
Yes.
So there's even a Twilight Council over here. I mean, he could just build all his tech over here and not be caught.
Well, when you think about it, a vast majority of these games, especially on Arena, because of the short rush distance, are relatively quick. And if they do end up becoming macro games, you see they stretch out horizontally, and the main chokes are where these rocks get taken out. No one goes all the way around, so I've never had to move my screen all the way over in this direction to the gold.
So the Phoenix were able to pick off a few probes here and try to sort of lessen the lead that Kira has.
Oh, and the Phoenix are being shooed away from the Void Rays. Are they able to get it? No, nope. They aren't able to get it. So it's, 3 Void Rays to 4.
So for Kira, it's basically going to be like, there's going to be a time where you think like, okay, like I'm on like 2 fully saturated bases. He's only on 1. So like this is basically easy mode now. But you're going to hit a point, and this is where like your own sort of mental skill comes in, depending on how fast you hit this point where it's like, how can he afford all this? Why is he still in the game? Why isn't he attacking me right now? Yeah. You know, like how... Like, what's his plan? Okay, he hasn't attacked me for like 7 minutes, but he's only on 1 base. Like, he's gone in with an Oracle and a few Phoenix here, but eventually something's going to click for Intuition. And look at this Zealot. I don't know exactly what his plan is, but he's moving across the map, and I think he's suspicious.
Yeah, and there's also an overseer. I keep saying that. An observer slowly making its way around to all the bases to see where the proxy is. Because, like you said, it just seemed to click where it's like, oh, okay, something's going on. And here, Zealot's going to move in and see that there is a gold base.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of probes here. So Intuition, unfortunately, wasn't able to get like a crazy amount of income off of that. And how is he going to defend this? Like, it looks like he's moving all his Phoenix over there because he's expecting he's going to have to defend it. And it looks like that is the case, but I give the nod here to Kira's army.
Yeah, with the 3 Void Rays and 2 Stalkers and a ton of Zealots, there's just not enough here at the gold base to be able to defend it. And if Intuition loses this, he's going to be back on 1 base, and that advantage is just a little bit too much, yeah.
Nice positioning here from Kira, allowing the Zealots to take on the melee units of Intuition. All the Zealots killing everything on the ground. The Phoenix are doing like an okay job taking out the Void Rays, but now there's a ton of Zealots in the mineral line here. Nice warping though of Adepts.
Yeah, Adepts versus, although the do they have charge?
No,
I don't think. Yeah, but the Zealots, if they get on top, yeah, I thought they had charge. If they go on top of the Adepts, the Adepts are absolutely useless. So
it's actually like sorry to cut you off. It's actually Intuition Zealots that have charge.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is confusing to look at, but it does look like there's enough forces here for Kira to at least kill all the probes that were in position, and the Stalkers and even more Zealots and Void Rays are following up here, and this is going to be very hard for Intuition to defend.
Yeah, just looking at the supplies, it's 101 to 51. Kira's coming back with some more Void Rays. And Immortal's even in the mix now, so...
Yeah, the Immortal's really going to do work against the Stalkers of Intuition, and he's basically just zoning Intuition back here with his Zealots while he just goes to town on the buildings.
Oh, the Mothership Core finally shows up and is able to get one Photon Overcharge before it's focused down with one Immortal and one Void Ray. Any building goes down ridiculously fast.
Yeah, and behind all this, third base for Kira, getting all his gateways up. Like, he's playing the complete game, macroing up fully behind all of this, and just playing very well. And I can't really see any way how Intuition is going to be able to pull back into this game, as his whole gold base is in shambles now, and he's got no units here to defend.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over, and there, no GG, just was defeated, and Kira was victorious to take the ace match 2-1 to tie it up 3-3 for the week.
Yes, so very good game coming out of Kira. He looks like he understands the PvP matchup on a high level. I mean, the first game Cannon Rush was, I guess that doesn't really show how much you understand the matchup, but it was still a ballsy decision, and it paid off for him. And then second game, the Stargate proxy from Intuition was incredibly close, and followed up with I think it was 4 gateway all in, basically, which I used to do in Heart of the Swarm, actually, quite a bit. And then this game here, where Intuition made Intuition made the decision to get the Forge and then block off and put himself behind, and Kira made the right choices to secure a lead and basically not give it up.
Yeah, once Kira realized, hey, what's going on? How come he still has units and is able to afford all this, and moved out onto the map to see that there was a gold base, it was pretty much over. Once Kira shut that down, Intuition was stuck on one base while Kira was moving into 3 bases, and the supplies were just enormous.
Yeah, so that leads us to what happened for set number 6, which is essentially going to be determining the outcome. And what happened was our player, OddHonor, was filled in the slot for silver, and it looks like there was no player. Based on what I can see from Wikipedia, there was just no player slotted in there. So I suppose before the set even started, Confed basically just sacrificed that game and gave us a free win there. So that makes it 4-3 for Team Lost in Translation, and it's going to be one of the scrappiest wins that we have pulled off. Like, this season is short, I've said that before, but definitely a very tough matchup. Confed played incredibly hard. Tons of, most of the games are very, very scrappy, back and forth, lots of awesome games, and very fun to cast.
Yeah, very entertaining week. A lot of mirror matchups, a lot of unique play that we've seen from all kinds of players. But in the end, it leaves Lost in Translation with a 3-0 record on the season, and Confed dropping down to 1-2.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good start for Lost in Translation, and we'll be picking things up next week as we take on Formless Bear Sloths next week. You guys can tune in, and we'll be casting that one as well sometime near the beginning of the week. So hope you guys enjoy so far, and we'll see you guys later.